It's Melona coming at you with some more mini energy. Now, today we got a history lesson for our vegetables. We may do a general spread after, we'll see. But this history lesson comes from a place of love as well as fuck them people. I don't know what else to say. Maybe y'all gonna have some other feelings about it, okay? Okay. Now, one of the things that was challenging growing up being me was, I don't know if y'all can tell, but there's a lot going on in this bloodline. And here's the thing, I used to be in some ways ashamed of it in different ways, for different reasons. We won't go down those rabbit holes. I am no longer ashamed of it. Because, side quest, Aquarius brain, bear with me. See, one of the things we learn from the domesticated dog is that purebred dogs have a lot of health issues. Follow with me now. And the reason being is because there's a lot of inbreeding. And even though they're pretty on the outside to look at, on the inside, a lot of times it's a goddamn mess in there. Well, that's not true for everything and everybody, but you know, even human beings can understand what used to go down in Alabama and Mississippi, and sometimes to this day still does in some places in Appalachia. Inbreeding does not create the healthiest offspring. So from that scientific vein, I was able to give myself some semblance of peace because I understand. I'm not mixed, baby. I'm robust. Y'all can have that one. You know what? Todd, if you're listening to this, put that on a t-shirt, dear. This is one of Todd's shirts. Oh, I laugh at myself. Let me get back on track. And from that place of not understanding myself and therefore disliking aspects of myself, I always saw it as a challenge from when I was knee-high to a flea. Because the things that caused me to feel bad are things that I come to find out at a very, very young age are things that we fear. We fear feeling bad. We fear loss. We fear pain. I got very, very accustomed to physical pain from a very early age. The only pain that actually hurt me was rejection and anything that affected my self-esteem. I still internalized it, but I kept on moving. Once I realized that was the only thing that was still left over that could actually impact me and like literally stop me in my tracks, I had to understand why I felt that way about myself. And that might be complex to some or simple to some. For me, it's simple now. But that simple journey took me to a place of understanding the true history of this place. And when I say this place, I mean the country of the United States as well as the world. And one of the things I understood is that over time, when I try to trace who I am and understand who I am, because it wasn't just my skin and what I look like, it was also my name. My government name, as they call it. I didn't understand why I was so different and unique. And now I'm like, hell yeah, y'all gave me the best gift y'all could ever give me. Hell, literally, how many people on this planet can say, nobody, 0 people in the world has my name? 0. And it's combination, backwards, forward, doesn't matter. 0. I'm good with it. Anyway, that was challenging. It continued to be challenging until I got much older. Because most of the time I spent trying to get thicker. Because I was not only pale as hell, because this is color for me. I was pale as hell growing up. They called me, what the South called, they call them red bones now, but they called my ass high yellow and white sheet of paper, white bread. These things I used to laugh along with, I did not enjoy. Being blacker than blacker than black, I thought, and still do think it's beautiful. I don't envy it anymore though. I was a child when I did it. I like who I am. But again, that's what led me on the road to understanding things. I wanted to know why I was different. Oh, but when I started to learn why I was different, one of my first tastes of understanding why I was different was them forcing slavery education upon me. Now you might, don't come here with your negativity either, because I'm about to explain to you from a perspective of someone who's been a child, who's been an adult, who's been a mother, who's been a teacher, who also understands psychology. How if we're going to teach our children about slavery, maybe if we actually give a shit, we should also have counselors available to those children after teaching them such things. You assume that children as young as 5 years old are ready to hear that their classmates, ancestors hung their ancestors. You're assuming that that's okay for their brains to process. It's not though. That's what was done to my generation and the one just previously to us. There was a fight to get the truth out there, and there was nothing wrong with fighting to get that truth out there. The truth about our history is available to anybody who wants it now, and that's a beautiful thing. We're not just hearing about Martin Luther King over and over and over again. We know about pretty much all the things now, and that's a wonderful thing. We don't know all of it yet, but we're getting there. Just hold on tight. But the fact that we know about all the things doesn't mean that it justifies mentally harming babies. Where am I going with this? I believe that just like we learned in steps, children should learn in steps. One of the first formative core memories should not be of seeing lynchings and having some kind of fear implanted in their minds. See, it is counterintuitive to teach a child to fear and then expect them to be strong. Don't that make sense? See, what don't make sense is them telling people that you should teach this to babies and corrupt their little minds. It's okay to allow them to be happy and to feel good about themselves. To see, Black History Month to the little ones, I'm talking about the young babies, for them can be about engineers, doctors, royalty, people who created, people who, not necessarily the bondage of it, but the beauty of it. So they can see themselves as something other than slaves. See, that's the reverse psychology. The weapon was never physical. That was done once it was seen and understood that the information was not going to be stopped from getting out. Well, we have to direct the narrative now, don't we? And make it seem like it was their idea. It was never meant to be used as a weapon, though. Because from what I understand of the things that I've studied and books that I've read, and if you don't like reading, go watch Roots. I was forced to watch it when I was very young, and I was traumatized by it. I didn't sleep for over a month. I didn't sleep well for over a month after that. I do not appreciate it to this day. I could have learned about slavery and everything that happened with it and be able to process it better as a teenager or an adult. Better off an adult in college or something like that. Or if I should choose to do so, like we have documentaries nowadays, if somebody chooses to insert that, Like, if we forget it, we'll repeat it. Do you really think that people of color are in danger of repeating that at this particular point? Enough of us remember. Enough of us know. And our allies, and when I say allies, I ain't talking about everybody. I'm talking about the people. No matter what is on this flesh bag, love their brothers and sisters no matter what they look like on the outside. And dislike their brothers and sisters equally when they don't like them, no matter what they look like on the inside. Those are our allies. They ain't gonna let us repeat it neither. See, the process, and y'all keep saying, we need to stop loving them and stop beating their ass. True. But that's only half of the battle. Because if you didn't notice, we outnumbered over here. Being that as a name, educating and from a place of love and understanding will give you more allies than straight up punching a motherfucker in the face as soon as they get on your nerves. Now, first time, try to educate. Second time, back away from me. I guess you don't want to be educated. Third time, then go ahead and beat their ass. Okay? Unless they call your child an N-word, in which case, do you? Because if my son, and yes, my son, who will be 21 this year, had told me while he was in college, busting his ass for this country to get into their Marines officers program, that he couldn't even go running to work out in 2021 without trucks driving by him calling him the N-word. If he had told his mama that, this is why he attacked his mama. Mama would have been a bloodhound. But that's neither here nor there. The point I'm making is, if what we're supposed to be doing now as the new grown-ups is advocating, those of us who give a damn, for our children, if we're going to teach them the rough stuff, then maybe we should also equip them emotionally to be able to handle the information. So, you want to teach critical race theory. I think it should be taught in pieces and stages for a young mind to be able to absorb without harm. So, age-appropriate pieces. Okay? 1, 2. And this one's crucial. We need to be more consistent about all of it. All of it. That's what'll make it fair. And what I mean by that is, why has history been taught from a prism of strife? First, when it comes to people who have melanin in their skin. One of the first things I learned about my heritage was slavery. Core memory. And to fear people who didn't look like me. Core memory. To understand I was their lesser still because racism persists. Core memory. Without ever equipping me in any way or attempting to, with the ability to overcome that, I was just expected to. By looking at the way other people before me, before my time, figured it out. While also telling me those people were stabbed, murdered, tortured, ostracized. Word? We supposed to follow that? Are you serious? That's reverse psychology for that ass. You know what's great though? Just on a personal note, it didn't work on me. I saw beyond it. And decided to dig deeper. I hope y'all do too. This is just an ask. Mostly because a lot of things in history were written by people who owned slaves. You mean to tell me that people nowadays, and I'm talking about recent, still call slave owners our forefathers? These people are still on monuments. They have not been completely repudiated. You want to know why? Because slavery was not that important to them. What happened to my ancestors was not that important to them. What happened to my ancestors, they only pretend to give a shit about. The ones who still call on them as their forefathers, or our forefathers, they didn't create shit. They stole this country and then committed genocide and then wrote laws and then enslaved millions of people and killed a gang of them. And you still want to call these people father and spin banknotes with their face on it? If it was so important and it was so disgusting to this country and this system, these men would not still be on our money. But they are. Mike said it best. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. When I say they, you might think I'm talking about white people. And you're wrong. Because my white brothers and sisters love me. I'm talking about people who happen to have less melanization. So you can call them if you want white people, but I'm not talking about them people. I'm talking about the beings in this world and this country who might be happen to be wearing some white skin, but they're not the same as my neighbors. They know damn well what's been going on. And every year they give you a little piece, a little bit more freedom so you don't revolt. Just enough that you don't revolt, but not enough so you can be secure. See, that's not my neighbors. That's not my friends. That's not my family. So don't make this about a black and white issue because it's not. It never was. It's about a fairness issue. Everything that's going on today in this world has a lot to do with systems like the one I'm talking about. Things shown to you as something that is good, but on the backhand, full of knuckles with that gift and that compliment. You just have to be able to open your eyes wide enough to see. And when I say open your eyes wide enough to see, I mean literally stop just falling in line because your neighbor's like, you want to know how we can support black people? We can support this. Because people need to know what we did. Y'all didn't do nothing. Your ancestors did. Acknowledge that. Stop, borrowing that privilege from the past. Because y'all are quick, when I notice. The public at large, there's some well-meaning people, so don't hate y'all. GoFundMe is a great example. See, Beyonce said we need peace and reparations for our people. We absolutely do. But our government, who can afford to do this, will not, has not, and has slow-walked those peaceful reparations. See, there's been small tests around the country. Y'all, it went kind of under your radar. Small little tests in different metropolitan cities. And it harmed no one. The cities flourished on reparations. Small little pockets test to see how it would go. So it can be done. This I've seen. So the fact that it isn't done is a choice. Now back to GoFundMe. Kyle Rittenhouse and people like him get GoFundMes all the time. Well, thousands, millions of dollars go to this one person after they've done something absolutely abhorrent. While those same type of people says, get over it. Slavery happened a long time ago. Well, slavery happened a long time ago, but its repercussions still persist. If you really gave a damn and wanted somebody to get the fuck over it, excuse my language, sometimes I get a little heated. Why don't y'all use your GoFundMe fingers? And if every single one of y'all gave $5, and when I say one of y'all, every single one of y'all, every Caucasian in this country, and then we can go every Caucasian in Canada, every Caucasian in South America, every Caucasian in, and just let it grow. Because of the genocide, thus far, the people would have reparations, and it would cost very little. I'm not saying that this is something I'm trying to get y'all to do. What I'm saying is, anything is possible if you actually give it some thought, some real thought, and actually give a shit. But there are obvious signs all around us that no fucks have been given. Pretend fucks that fool a lot of people have been given. We're not falling for that no more. And when I say we, I mean people who have some common sense. Common sense ain't always common, but common sense, a good, amount of structure to their DNA, as well as bravery and strong hearts. This is only one area that's coming up for debate in the collective. And it's been coming up for debate. I don't know if y'all noticed. But it's time for that to end. Perfection is not what's being sought, because that will be imbalance. Perfection is actually an ugly word, because there's no beauty in perfection. Where's the character? It is only fairness that is being sought. And we've been asking for it for a very, very long time. And yeah, asking is not what's going down now. It's with all the love I can muster, I'm letting you know it won't hurt to at least try to identify the things that can be done to level the playing fields. For real, not this fake stuff that keeps going down and these campaigns that y'all keep going for. If you always let somebody tell you who to cheer for, you ain't gonna never know who winning and who losing. You say, oh, they tell you in a news story that something is bad and wrong, and then another one, and they tell you even what to think. And pretty soon y'all are on social media posting about it before or against it, thinking you helping somebody. Well, all you're doing is acting as a lemur, and you accomplish nothing because you have forgotten how to formulate an original thought and your own opinion instead of just jumping on shit. Oh, you heard the news when they said blah blah blah? Oh, word? Are you there? No. The news said it happened though, but the news have lied before. No, the news won't lie. The government knows not to do that. Okay. History says otherwise. But can you tell me what the conflict is about? What started it? Why somebody would do that? Oh, they just wanted to do that. Why the hell would somebody bother doing that if there's no reason to do it? They're just a bully. Oh, word? How do you know that? The news told me. When is the last time you had an original thought? Till next time, you love.